Traders at UBA say that they expect the market to remain bullish next week, with investors' eyes on the Central Bank of Nigeria's special bills as the almost maturity of 80.7 billion naira is expected next week. And I have Ifeoma Onyejekwe, she's a fixed income trader at UBA. She joins me now to discuss what to expect from the markets next week. Thank you so much for your time on the show, Ifeoma. Before we get into what we can expect next week, let's just look back and see how the market fared this week so far.
Thank you, Kenneth, for having me. So this week was a very, very liquid week. We had maturities, bond maturity of about 605 billion that came in yesterday. We also had NCB maturities of 129 billion, and then we had FAC allocation payments. So it all serves to, crash rates. Money market rates crashed to around 0.5 and 1%. So it was very, very liquid, and it made traders to trade on a very bullish note. They were buying trades, there was interest all over the place. Although outstanding maturities were not that much, but interest was really seen in the market, especially on the CBN special bills. Today has been a little bit different. The central bank carried out arbitrary industry debit, so that has served to dampen trading activity.
All right, but looking into next week, you say you expect the market to continue to remain bullish now. What's driving this positive sentiment here?
Well, since the CBN has carried out industry debit, that bullish sentiment will be dampened going into next week. But we expect over 80 billion of maturities coming on Tuesday. So, going into next week, it will still be relatively liquid until, we have the auctions.
All right, but why are we seeing this much sentiment, or why you expect this much sentiment for the special bills?
It serves as a means for traders and bankers to manage their liquidity. So everyone is really trying to manage liquidity in the short term. That's why there's so much interest, and it's also one of the most supplied bills in the market. So there's availability, and it's also served to manage liquidity.
All right, but in terms of the bond space, though, what's your outlook? I understand that you're expecting some activity at the long end of the curve.
Yeah. So last week was the bond auction where the 2026 was reopened, and there was a new issuance of the 2042 bond. So a lot of traders, they wanted to buy more of the long end, but we had some losers in the market. So that has still, there's still been some demand on that bond, and as well as other bonds surrounding it. So traders are really looking at buying long-term bonds. So that's why I expect interest to be in the long end of the bond curve.
But looking at the money market as a whole generally, and for investors that are looking to play in there, how would you advise them to go into February?
To be honest, I would advise everyone to be cautious to, depending on your investment needs and investment goals. So you just have to watch carefully and see, how market plays out, so it will be in line with whatever your investment goals are.
All right, but on the currency space, though, what's your outlook?
Well, outlook has really been stable. We haven't really seen any, swinging movements in that space. So the CBN has continued to carry out, regular interventions in that space. So it's been really stable around 415, 416 naira.
All right, but in terms of FX reserves?
In terms of the same thing, like the CBN has really been, carrying out very regular interventions. So that space has really been stable.
All right, now beyond the maturities we're expecting for next week, what else is that big thing to look out for?
Nothing that much. Not really. There's really not that much activity in the month of February, barring the regular inflow of maturities in the market.